A collection truck has broken down. Does this seem familiar? What happens next? Perhaps it can be fixed, but at some point, trucks cannot be repaired anymore, or at a too high of a cost, and you need to replace them. So, have you accounted for these costs in your waste management budget? Many times, costs of waste management services are not well understood, and the full financial picture often remains unknown. In this video, you will get an overview of the cost assessment and modeling tool. Learn to identify key waste management costs, including operation and maintenance, and capital costs. Account for key costs using the assessment tool and explore the cost modeling part for collection and transport. This cost assessment and modeling tool is Excel-based and can be downloaded for free. It allows you to assess real costs and revenues of solid waste management and to model the cost of different scenarios of waste collection, which allows you to do comparisons and highlight trends. The tool is based on the publication from UN Habitat, Collection of Municipal Solid Waste in Developing Countries. You can see that there are multiple sheets in the tool. For the assessment of real costs and revenues, you should look at sheets 0, 1, 2, and 4 for the results. To model different scenarios of waste collection, you should use sheets 0, 3, and 4. Now, let's dive into the costs that you should consider. The tool divides the cost of solid waste management in 4 main categories that are color-coded: service provision, administration, planning and monitoring, and awareness and communication. The service provision is further divided per element of the service chain, including street and public areas sweeping, maintenance workshop, waste collection, recycling and composting facilities, transfer stations and transport, and final disposal. You should account for operation and maintenance costs as well as capital costs. Operation and maintenance costs typically include costs of personnel, which is not only the salary but also should include social benefits and insurances. Equipment and materials include personal protective equipment, IT equipment and materials, office furniture, and diverse items required to provide the service or administer it. Operation and maintenance include costs such as fuel, insurances, preventive and corrective maintenance of machinery and vehicles. Finally, utility costs with water, electricity, internet, as well as any rent should be accounted for. This list is only a snapshot of important costs. You should make sure to consider all relevant costs for your context. Regarding capital costs, it is important to remember that infrastructure, installations, and vehicles, all these assets, have an estimated lifetime before they need to be replaced. We account for this need of replacement through a yearly cost on each asset, called the annual depreciation cost. It can be calculated by dividing the capital cost by the estimated lifetime. Remember that for infrastructure and installations, it's not only about construction or purchase costs. It also includes use of land, design and engineering, as well as permits and legal fees when relevant. Another cost that might be incurred is the financing costs with the interest rates of a loan. Now, let's have a look directly in the tool with some examples. This green section in the cost sheet corresponds to service provision. Here is an example with 5 drivers, which are employed 100% for solid waste management, and their salaries, social benefits, and insurance costs are accounted for. On the third line, you can see that 3 staff are in support of waste collection. They are only accounted 20% because the rest of their tasks are not related to solid waste management. You can use this option when relevant. To the right side, you can see the total costs per year for each cost line. Now, let's have a look at a capital cost. Here we have 5 collection vehicles, which cost 60,000 each and have an expected lifetime of 10 years. The tool then calculates the linear depreciation cost per year. This is 6,000 for each truck for a total of 30,000 per year. Once you have entered all the relevant costs for your context, you can move to the results sheet. In the results sheet, you will find multiple sections. This one is dedicated to the costs and revenues. And here you can see the summary of your costs per category. You can see that in this example, we have included costs in other categories and that the cost of solid waste collection is the major one. Collection and transport is often the highest cost for waste services. This is the reason why modeling the costs of different collection systems is useful, to be able to compare them and understand if changes in how waste is collected can reduce the costs. It can support you in identifying trends and potentially improve efficiency and reduce costs. The cost modeling part of the tool focuses on the cost of collection and transport. It compares 4 different types of collection systems based on your context-specific data that you must input. These are door-to-door collection, block collection, container-based collection, and containers with 2 or 3 segregated fractions for organics and recyclables. Finally, each method is modeled with and without the use of a transfer station, for a total of 8 scenarios of waste collection that you can compare. Understanding the cost of solid waste management is an essential step for financial sustainability and to provide a service of quality. In this video, you have seen key costs to consider and how to use the cost assessment and modeling tool to account for them. You also have now an overview of the tool and an introduction to the collection systems it can model. To support you, you can use the guidelines that cover in detail all the aspects of the tool. Now it's your turn. Download the tool and apply it to your own context.